Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Please be mindful of still some potential issues with flooding and flash flooding from the storms yesterday and last night. Flash flood warning listed in southern West Virginia until 7:30 or 8 a.m. for Boone, Raleigh, Wyoming, and Logan counties. Listing up to 5.5 inches of rain that fell with the recent storms. There's also a flood watch southeastern areas of the state listed until 11 a.m. So still remember, turn around, don't drown. Never drive through any flooded areas. End of the week and the weekend, they'll be watching for another round of some likely rain with some heavy and excessive amounts that may be possible again by then. Charleston, about 1 3/4 inch of rain officially yesterday, 1.77 inches, high of 81, low at 66. Average high yesterday was 85. Far eastern areas, some general thunderstorms are possible. The rain is ending or has come to an end from west to east. Far eastern areas of the state, sometime earlier mid-afternoon, the rain will taper for you. Fly Sabre forecast, it starts at home. Wyoming or Florida areas, watching some potential heat again, some mid to upper 90s, some chances of thunderstorms later in the week for cities like Orlando. Northern areas likely dry today, some increasing sunshine. Eastern areas, likely chance of showers this morning, then a chance early this afternoon before ending. Be mindful of any impacts with the recent rain here in these areas. Rain coming to an end early this afternoon. Still some impacts with flooding or flash flooding this morning in some southern areas of the state. 84 sunny on Wednesday, patchy fog. 89 Thursday, increasing heat and humidity this weekend next week. 91 Monday. Friday and Saturday, rain's likely. Both of those days, I'll be watching for potential of heavy rain and strong storms. A chance of a shower and storm on Sunday, 87. And again, increasing heat and humidity expected again late in the weekend and early next week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Coming up this morning on MetroNews Talkline, we'll remember the 2016 floods that hit southern West Virginia, the devastating floods, plus get an update on current flash flooding across the coal fields. A little bit later on, we'll get some news and notes. More students are taking advantage of the Hope Scholarship and dog races. We'll get into all of it as MetroNews Talkline gets underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave in Morgantown. TJ is in Charleston. Gang's all here. Ethan Collins is our audio producer. Jake Link handles the video side of things. And you are listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. Or perhaps you downloaded the MetroNews TV app and you're watching the video stream this morning. We're also on YouTube Live and Facebook Live as well. Second hour, Josh Sword, West Virginia AFL-CIO, is going to join us. We'll get a different take on the Fast Labor Contract Act. He'll join us at 11:06. We'll revisit the devastating flooding from 2016. There is support among some West Virginia lawmakers to do away with dog races in West Virginia. Plus, the snap pop ban, maybe not. All of that and more this morning. Lots to get to. Say good morning to TJ Meadows. Good morning, TJ Meadows.
Morning, sir. How are you today?
It's one of those kind of weird days where there's a lot going on, but it's all kind of up in the air. We're keeping an eye on the U.S. Supreme Court today as well. So one of those kind of typical summer days that you deal with in this business.
I gave up on the court. I thought it was going to be Thursday. I was, and then nothing. So I don't know.
Well, we've been on court watch for what? This is our third week on U.S. Supreme Court watch?
Yeah. If history holds, they got to get it done by the last week of June. They typically, on things, do not go into July. Not that they can't, but we'll see.
The live blog that I'm following, by the way, is a bit entertaining. So there's at least that, TJ. You look for the entertainment in the weirdest places. If you're following the SCOTUS blog, it's a bit entertaining. So, take what you can get, TJ.
Those folks know their stuff, man, and they don't hold back on what they have to say in that chat. I mean, it gets a little chippy.
So we'll keep an eye on all of that this morning. Chris Lawrence, by the way, we may hear from him. He is out reporting today on some of the flash flooding in southern West Virginia. Let's get an update on that right now. Jeff Jenkins joins us from the MetroNews newsroom. Jeff, good morning. It was a long night for some areas down in the coal fields with torrential rains moving across parts of West Virginia.
Hey, guys, good morning. Yeah, we're talking about a narrow band of rain that kind of set up overnight and hit parts of Mingo, Logan, Boone, and Raleigh counties, with most of the damage that we're learning in Logan and Boone counties. And it looks like a part of Boone County got the most significant damage from what we can tell right now. And particularly in the Van area, in the Wharton area. So you're talking about along Route 85, Palm Fork is the water there that eventually feeds into the Coal River. But you got the Palm Fork, also what is called the Spruce River area, which is on Route 17. Those are the areas that got it overnight. And they had to make swiftwater rescues. There were 2 swiftwater rescue teams called out of Boone County that came and responded and helped rescue residents. And there was the Charleston Fire Department and also the South Charleston Fire Department were called also to perform swiftwater rescues. By about 9 o'clock, the water had receded and folks were heading back to their homes in the Van and Bob White areas, which is another community there in Boone County. But water did get up into homes. I was able about 20 minutes ago to talk to Gary Howell. Gary Howell is the chief of the Van Volunteer Fire Department, and he talks about some of the swiftwater rescues they had.
Between them and the Boone County Ambulance Authorities up here and our members, I think it was around probably anywhere from 10 to 14 people that they got safely out of their houses, and at that time they was brought down here to the firehouse.
Yeah, so that's just kind of in the Van area. He said there were more rescues and more water into houses up in the Wharton area. Route 85 was closed for a while above Van because a tree was down in the road, so it was closed for a couple of hours until they could get the tree cleared. So we'll see. Chris, as you mentioned, guys, Chris is headed down, so we'll see. We'll get a better accounting on how much water got into houses, and if it got, the chief said there from Van that it did get into some living areas in several houses. So we'll see. And again, it was a narrow band. It wasn't really wide, but in some areas, guys, it looks like 6 to 7, maybe even 8 inches of rain fell over just a couple of hours.
And for those that may not understand that area along Route 85, Jeff, you've been over that way. Yeah. I grew up over near that way. It's the road and the creek and the valley. There's not a lot of real estate.
Right, there's not.
And so that amount of rain has nowhere to go but to pile up there in the valley and just kind of spread. So it wouldn't take a whole lot of rain is what I'm getting at to see some really severe problems given the topography.
Yeah, and then over in Logan County, we've got some video. We've got an updated story, the lead story at the website right now. You can see some of the video in the Chauncey area of Logan County. They got some water. We understand, though, from a resident we talked to there that it's mostly in crawl spaces, basements, garages, maybe some vehicles got damaged. So we'll get a better understanding there later today. But, and as we talked, and Brian Hughes said, and we also talked to the National Weather Service this morning, they knew that this was going to happen. They just didn't know where because the conditions were right for something kind of to set up And so they tried to warn some counties ahead of time that, hey, just beware, something may happen. And that's kind of where it ended setting up in those 4 counties.
We have the latest on the current flash flooding over at the website, wvmetronews.com. And in a weird twist or coincidence, Jeff, this flash flooding occurring on the 10-year anniversary of the devastating 2016 floods that occurred in the southern coal fields. And you actually took a trip down to Raynell to revisit some of the devastation and some of the emergency situations that occurred 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was 10 years ago this evening. It was a Thursday evening. It had rained all day Thursday, really picked up in the afternoon, and it was 14 counties that were impacted. And kind of, if you can go from Parkersburg, if you could just kind of start there, but it goes diagonally from Parkersburg. It hit Jackson County, and then, the way I've always thought of this is it rained the heaviest and flooded the worst below the Sutton Dam, and then kind of below the Summersville Dam, and also taking in the Greenbrier Valley and the Elk River and over in Greenbrier County in Richwood and just all kinds of different areas. But it was a devastating flood. I mean, it killed 23 people. The most people that died were in Greenbrier County. As we know, in Kanawha County, the Elk River area, Clendenin, Elk River, just devastating that night. And, just here in Charleston, just a few miles, it rained heavy and the Kanawha River got high, but did not get the flooding that they got just 10 miles from here, 10 or 15 miles from here. But yeah, I was able, guys, to go down to Raynell there along US Route 60 in Greenbrier County, just a beautiful little place that, a town that's been around for a long, long time. And you got Soul Creek there and the Meadow River, and they flooded on this day 10 years ago. And they had swiftwater rescues. They had 4 men who died there. And they have a mural that is now on one of the side of their buildings right along US Route 60 that has the faces of these 4 men. And one of them who died is Ed Thompson. He was 85 years old. And his son is Keith Thompson, who we know Keith Thompson. He's a fellow broadcaster. And so I sat down with Keith back on Saturday, just right along the road. There's a couple benches there at their Veterans Memorial, and we talked about the night that his mom and dad. His dad was 85, his mom 83 years old, and in a house that they had lived in. They lived in Raynell for a long, long, long time, but they had moved. They had built a house in the mid '60s on 14th Street, brick house, and the water got up and they couldn't get out. And they were in the water, guys, for more than 6 hours. More than 6 hours they were in the water, more than 3 feet of water in their home. And the father died. So here's Keith, because Keith lives in Beckley, and he was traveling back actually from Charleston. His wife had a medical procedure, and he was traveling from Charleston back to Beckley that afternoon. It was raining so hard that the traffic was stopped on the turnpike. So he thought, well, I better check in with mom and dad. So he calls his mom. She goes, it's come up a little bit. It's gone back down. And we're okay. We're good. And he was able to call her again. And she goes, yeah, looks like it's getting closer to the house. But after that, guys, he lost all contact. The power went off. There was no phone service, no cell service. And then he was able, after trying for several hours, to get a hold of a friend of his who was assistant fire chief there. And this is where we pick up the story. This goes for just short of 2 minutes with Keith explaining the story.
I got in touch with George Brooks, who was the assistant fire chief here. And George and I grew up together. We've known each other pretty much all of our lives. He grew up one street ahead up from me. His grandparents lived right beside us, so, we know each other. And he answered the phone, and he said, Keith, what can I do for you? I said, where are you? He said, I'm here at the fire station in my truck with water running through it, and I've got it running, trying to get enough charge on my phone to get some help in here. And he said, what can I do? I said, Mom and Dad. I said, I haven't heard from them. He said, are they in the house? I said, buddy, I don't know. I said, I really don't know. He said, I've got some boats coming. And he said when they get here, he said the first one will go right there to see if we can find them. So the boat launch place, and these were rafting boats that they brought in. Right there where Hardy's was, where Go-Mart is and all that, that's where they put those boats, and they could just float on across to Mom and Dad's house. And they didn't see any action there in the first time they went by, but they went by again and saw the curtain move, from what I was told. And they shined a light in and saw Mom and Dad. Dad had passed away. Or I think at that time he was really close if he hadn't. And Mom was close too. When they got my mother in the hospital over in Summersville, her body temperature was 87.
Yeah, just think of that. Her body temperature. So Keith's dad, guys, officially, Ed Thompson, again, 85 years old. Long time. He was retired from Kroger, had worked in the Kroger there for a long time. And right now his mom was a school cook at Greenbrier West High School and had retired. But his father, the cause of death was by hypothermia, stress-related heart attack, basically his heart failure, because they were in that water for so long. And his mom, as he mentioned there, her body temperature had gone down to 87 degrees. She was out of the hospital in 2 days, amazingly. And they were able to be back, and you can read this in the story, they were able to be back in their home within about 6 weeks, and she was able to be back in the home, and then she died of a massive stroke in October. So Keith lost both of his parents within 4 months there. So that's just one story of hundreds, that happened that night in West Virginia that could be told. But remembering back, to that time, and it just, the water, it just kept raining, and the training thunderstorms just over and over and over again in that one area, and the water just came up, and it was just, it was just very difficult. And you go through Raynell now, guys, still just as beautiful as ever, but a lot of empty lots.
Yeah.
Empty buildings, empty lots.
I was going to ask you how the town was doing.
I think it's doing okay. I mean, I talked to the mayor, Andy Pendleton, and they lost about 200 residents over that from the flood.
That's tough. Around
about 200 residents. So, but it's still, I was there Saturday. There's a city pool. Kids are in the pool. Things are, you have things going on, and still have Route 60, which is the scenic route. I mean, if you want to get off 64 and take 60 through there, it's beautiful. But it's just one of those places, and it changed Raynell forever.
You can read Jeff Jenkins' story right now over at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Coming up a little bit later, we've got some sound we gathered from our reporting, the Metro News reporting over the course of the day and days after the flooding. We're going to get to that coming up in just a little bit. Jeff, we appreciate it. Thanks for sharing, and go check out the story at WVMetroNews.com. Keep us updated on current conditions as well, please.
We'll do it. Thanks.
Jeff Jenkins from the Metro News newsroom. We'll get to your text, 304-TALK-304. That is the text line, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. This is Metro News Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build
with
a
Metro
stronger
News
West
Hotline.
Virginia, the
If
High
it's trending,
Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
a
great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304-TALK. 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK, the phone number. We will continue our coverage of the 10th anniversary of the 2016 flash floods. Coming up, bottom of the hour, we'll replay some of our reporting from June 23rd, 2026 and the subsequent days, 2016 and the subsequent days after the rains came. A couple of news and notes for you. First of all, guess what, TJ? Not the day.
No.
Not the day. The U.S. Supreme Court is done issuing opinions for today. And as one of the moderators in the live blog I was watching there noted, it could get nuts because all of the political and culture war issues that the U.S. Supreme Court is dealing with or has heard, they've all stacked up, or most of them have been stacked up. So maybe Thursday's the day we get an opinion on the BPJ case involving West Virginia.
Is there some sanity in that, though? All of the social issues, just do it all in one day and get it over in one fell swoop? I mean, is that
drop it all
smart
on Thursday
no?
and then head out the back door? Is that what you do?
Oh, they're not there. What are you talking about?
So no ruling on that case. Maybe Thursday's the day. I was looking at the calendar according to SCOTUS blog, which, again, if you're looking for something to nerd out to, check that out. Thursday's it, TJ. After that, they got conference, and then the next term starts in October. So Thursday, keep the calendar open on Thursday. We could finally get that opinion from the U.S. Supreme Court. So nothing there today. We'll continue to follow that. Also, over at WVMetroNews.com this morning, the Treasurer's Office yesterday released the numbers for Hope Scholarship. Over 26,000. I think it was 26,617. Does that sound right? Going off the top of my head. For full Hope Scholarship participants heading into the next academic year. There's still time to get, 75%, 50%, and I think you can get 25%. And with that, here's the key number with the Hope Scholarship numbers from the Treasurer's Office. That would put Hope Scholarship funding at $155 million. $277 was allocated. They're at $155 million of that so far.
I don't know that it makes sense to expect a huge amount of people at the 75%, 50% level. I mean, it's open to everybody for the first time, unless you've been living under a rock. you may not know about this, or maybe someone decides to switch schools midstream or something, but I don't think there's going to be a flood of that. I would think that this is when you do it. So I don't know that we're going to see much more than that 155 million number. I mean, maybe it goes up some. I don't know that it would go up to a huge extent. So it's not the 300 million everybody was worried about.
I would tend to agree with you, just applying a little common sense and logic there, TJ. You would get maybe some mid-year changes, students moving from public to private or maybe public to homeschool mid-year, but I can't imagine there'd be a huge number. So are we in that range? Have we found that sweet spot at 155 to say maybe 170? Isn't that about where Larry Pack thought it would be? Or am I
think it's
misremembering?
Close. No, I think that was pretty close. He wasn't the 300 million, as I recall. I guess the question becomes the money that was allocated. What happens now? Does it just roll forward to future year funding, or I wonder how that's going to work?
That is a good question. Lucky for us, we only have 40 seconds till the break, so we don't have to answer it right now.
That's why I asked it.
Coming up, we will bring back some of our reporting from 2016 during the devastating floods in southern West Virginia. Second hour, Josh Sword is going to join us. He's with the West Virginia AFL-CIO. His thoughts on the Fast Labor Contract Act that got through the House of Representatives and on to the U.S. Senate. That's all ahead. Your texts are welcome as well. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30, time to get a news update. Let's check in with the Metro News Radio Network, find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Please be mindful of still some potential issues with flooding and flash flooding from the storms yesterday and last night. Flash flood warning listed in southern West Virginia until 7:30 or 8 a.m. for Boone, Raleigh, Wyoming, and Logan counties. Listing up to 5.5 inches of rain that fell with the recent storms. There's also a flood watch southeastern areas of the state listed until 11 a.m. So still remember, turn around, don't drown. Never drive through any flooded areas. End of the week and the weekend, they'll be watching for another round of some likely rain with some heavy and excessive amounts that may be possible again by then. Charleston, about 1 3/4 inch of rain officially yesterday, 1.77 inches, high of 81, low at 66. Average high yesterday was 85. Far eastern areas, some general thunderstorms are possible. The rain is ending or has come to an end from west to east. Far eastern areas of the state, sometime earlier mid-afternoon, the rain will taper for you. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. Wyoming or Florida areas, watching some potential heat again, some mid to upper 90s, some chances of thunderstorms later in the week for cities like Orlando. Northern areas likely dry today, some increasing sunshine. Eastern areas, likely chance of showers this morning, then a chance early this afternoon before ending. Be mindful of any impacts with the recent rain here in these areas. Rain coming to an end early this afternoon. Still some impacts with flooding or flash flooding this morning in some southern areas of the state. 84 sunny on Wednesday, patchy fog. 89 Thursday, increasing heat and humidity this weekend next week. 91 Monday. Friday and Saturday, rain's likely. Both of those days, I'll be watching for potential of heavy rain and strong storms. A chance of a shower and storm on Sunday, 87. And again, increasing heat and humidity expected again late in the weekend and early next week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
304 Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. A handful of West Virginia state lawmakers supporting the idea of a nationwide ban on dog racing. We'll get to that coming up in the second hour of the program. Of course, today marks 10 years since the devastating flooding that hit southern West Virginia. We were talking to Jeff Jenkins about it a couple of minutes ago. Jeff filed this report on the night of June 23rd, 2016.
In the 580 WCHS radio newsroom with this special report, flooding across the region, across the state of West Virginia. A man is dead in connection with flooding here in Kanawha County. It happened tonight in the Jordan Creek Road area. That's in Clendenin. A man trapped in the high water died before emergency crews could reach him. An investigation is underway. More tragic news from today's flooding. A 4-year-old boy was swept away by high water in Jackson County at just before 5 o'clock this evening. It happened in the Utah Road area near Ravenswood. The search for that boy continues tonight. Also, 580 WCHS has learned the state DOH will close Interstate 79 in both directions within the next hour because of the ponding water conditions being too dangerous to travel. It's going to close at the 10-mile marker near the Elkview exit. The northbound lanes at the 23-mile marker in Roane County closed earlier in the evening following a mudslide. Kanawha County Deputy Emergency Management Director C.W. Sigmund says there have been dozens of water rescues this evening in Kanawha County. Governor Earl Ray Tomblin has placed 44 counties under a state of emergency. That eases some state regulations so overtime can be worked and other measures taken to help the flood response. And two of the hardest hit areas of the state are in Richwood and Nicholas County, White Sulphur Springs and Greenbrier County. The National Weather Service tells us it's rained more than 8 inches in White Sulphur Springs in the past 24 hours.
That's Jeff Jenkins reporting back in June of 2016. Richwood Mayor Robert Johnson talked about the desperate situation in his town that night.
Cherry River did come out of its banks in several locations. Cherry River Plaza is flooded. The local nursing home has been fully evacuated to higher ground.
Morning Sports Guy Daniel.
That was Richwood Mayor Robert Johnson talking about the situation back on June 23rd. Paul Maddox was the transportation secretary at the time and discussed the decision to shut down I-79.
We designed the interstate system to take a 50-year storm, I believe, design storm, and so it's very unusual. It means you got a lot of rain in a short amount of time to get up and get into the traveled way where we got to close the interstate.
Meanwhile, in Kanawha County, Clendenin was cut off, according to Kanawha County Commission President Kent Carper.
Clendenin basically became an island. We couldn't get to Clendenin. Some of the normal tools we have weren't available.
He says a lot of people were trying to help at the time, but at that moment, he was urging people just to stay away from some of the hardest hit areas.
If you own a camp, or if you own a piece of property, or if you know someone that lives in the area, this is not the time to go into these areas to sightsee. The Sheriff's Department will take a dim view of that. Number one, it's dangerous. Number two, you're interfering with folks that may need to be rescued safely.
Many areas of the county were inaccessible. Greenbrier owner, he wasn't the governor or senator yet, Jim Justice, talked about the situation in White Sulphur Springs.
We've got houses washed away and people trapped in automobiles and people trying to swim to get out of harm's way, and it's just it's really bad.
He said nobody could get anywhere and things got cut off quickly.
I've left the Greenbrier right before, even though it rained an awful lot. I didn't even think anything about that it could be this level of bad. And then right as soon as I left, just within probably 40 minutes, they closed Route 60. You can't get out of the Greenbrier going down Route 60 towards Hart's Run. You can't get back through White Sulphur Springs. I can't get back in.
Carissa Collins was executive director of Northeast West Virginia chapter of the American Red Cross, and they had teams on standby.
Right now we have volunteers that are prepared to deploy for a week or longer. We have volunteers that are already on the ground in southern West Virginia, most particularly, though, of course, our western neighbors are receiving assistance as well in the Northwest chapter. So we're preparing for however long we need to be there.
That was June 23rd, 2016. Hard to believe, TJ, 10 years ago since that devastation. And in the 10 years since then, and I'll use, Clendenin and the Elkview area as an example, I wouldn't call it miraculous, but you could see the strength of West Virginians through the rebuilding process. Herbert Hoover High School gets wiped off the map, and now Herbert Hoover High School is probably the envy of every other high school in the state of West Virginia. The way they rebuilt those facilities and built new, a testament to not giving up and being a little bit stubborn as well here in West Virginia.
Well, and it takes time. I mean, how many years, Dave, did it take to get that high school ready to open? How many years did many of those now Hoover grads go to school in trailers?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, look, West Virginia can be a tough place to live for multiple reasons, and the topography is one of them. Growing up where I did, you had a little bit of real estate, a little bit of land, smack dab between two mountains. And when I say little bit, it was a little bit. You had the road, some houses, and the creek or the river. And anytime it rained, it was always a matter of would it be able to hold or not? And it just depends on what area got what. I remember drones were first coming into fashion about this time, and people were picking them up. You could go get those DJI drones. Remember those, the first ones that came out?
Yeah.
And they were flying them over Clendenin and Elkview. And the aerials were just amazing to see how much water in that part of the state. And then I remember the same images and video you probably do. Remember White Sulphur and the houses literally floating down by the bridge? You recall that?
Oh, yeah.
That image?
Yes.
I mean, just amazing. And I think, was the final count 23? Is that what Jeff said?
Yeah,
More than 20. 23. And you hear these stories, and you hear about the children that were swept away, and then you hear Keith Thompson tell his story. My goodness. I mean, to think what those folks went through, to think what he was going through, not knowing. I mean, it is a testament to the resiliency of the people that live in this state, and it's hard for multiple reasons, and this is just one of them. And I do think it's somewhat ironic that, thankfully, not anywhere near what we saw 10 years ago, but here we are 10 years ago, and we're dealing with it today. The exact same thing.
It was one of those events, and I'd put the derecho up there, not in loss of life, obviously, but where, as a reporter, you realize something bad is happening or has happened, but you can't wrap your mind around it. It's only maybe after the fact when you can take a step back and you go, oh, wow, this was really bad. Because in the moment, it's cover the next thing, get the information out that people need. And then when you take a step back, you go, what did I just cover there? Now, we were up here. Obviously, I was up in Morgantown covering it from afar, but having covered situations like that, that's what you do. You take that step back, then you go, there were children involved, grandparents involved, parents involved, people didn't know. The people who were trapped in Clendenin when the bridge got swept away. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Everybody was over there in the shopping plaza. They were trapped there for
Kroger.
Days.
Yeah.
So you take that step back, and then you realize the magnitude of what had just happened. That's when it hits you. At least for me as a reporter, that's when it hits you, and you go, "Wow, this is something that's going to be talked about." Obviously, we're talking about it 10 years later. So,
how many people lived in mobile housing, temporary housing, for months, if not years, as a result of this? And I don't think it's too far-fetched to ask the question. I don't know that every area ever truly has recovered yet. Jeff talked about Raynell and the vacant lots and different things like that. I don't know that you ever fully recover back to where you were.
Do you? I mean, we can probably go around, TJ, to any small town, big city. I use big city very liberally when it comes to West Virginia. But there are always reminders of events that happened 50, 60, 70 years ago. Oh, that was the flood of pick a year. Oh, that's why that vacant lot's there. Used to be a house right there. That was the old Meadows place. Got washed away. So you recover, but there are always the reminders. There are always scars, physically and emotionally. Sure.
I'll tell you a story that kind of just popped into my mind. I don't know why, but she wasn't a judge at the time. She was a prosecuting attorney. But Mary Claire Akers, important job if you're chief prosecutor in a county like Kanawha County. I mean, she wanted to help. She didn't know what to do. She went up to Elkview Clendenin, where people were being brought, didn't have anything, and just fired up a grill and started cooking hot dogs and did that like for hours upon hours, just making sure people had something to eat. Mm-hmm. So everybody dropped everything in order to be able to take care of people. And sometimes I think we take that for granted here in West Virginia, the way we respond and how we do help each other. Folks, I got to tell you, that doesn't happen everywhere. That does not happen everywhere the way that it happens here, that people are willing to give up time, treasure, talent, and go do what they need to do to make sure the next guy has it a little bit better. I think sometimes we take that for granted, and it's something that we need to remember because it doesn't happen everywhere. It's still special here. It still happens here.
Yeah, that's our culture, though. We don't wait for others to come help or expect. We don't even expect people to come help, TJ. It's you go help your butt, you help your neighbor. You got to cut up a tree. You got to move this. You got to start mucking out a house, whatever you need to do. That's what we do here. That's why it's the best state in the union, if I may say so myself. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. You can share your thoughts, 800-765-8255, the phone number. Got some more news and notes to get to, including a long, and I mean long, years-long legal battle that is finally coming to an end in Morgantown involving the city and firefighters. Plus, no decision on BPJ from the U.S. Supreme Court, maybe later this week, but we've been saying that for 3 weeks now. We'll get your thoughts as well. 304-TALK, 304. That's the text line, 800-765-8255. The phone number. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Back in a moment.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discovered, tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Couple of texts here, 304 Talk 304. Texter says, no Becky Pepper Jackson decision today. Yep, that's right. You must have been watching a SCOTUS blog as well. Again, if you're looking to nerd out, I highly recommend it.
I mean, they do a good job.
Oh, they do a
We're
great,
joking.
yeah.
They do a really good job.
It's just go read SCOTUS blog. Get off Twitter and go to SCOTUS blog. You'll be
If you
better
really
for
wanna
it.
know, what's going on?
Today is Justice Clarence Thomas's 78th birthday, says the texter. Well, happy birthday. It's also my sister's birthday. How old is she? I'm afraid. Oh, next year's the big one.
You're throwing out a lot of information there. You sure
Next
that's okay with
year's
her?
a big one. Enjoy it while it lasts, Brooke. Enjoy it while it lasts. Happy birthday. Brooke is my oldest little sister. She's the middle child. I'm the oldest. She's the middle child. And then there's the terror youngest sister. But
Is that the way it always goes? The youngest is always the... I tell folks that my youngest is either going to be president or in the state pen, one of the two. We don't know which way it's going to go, but it's going to be one or the other.
Well, the firstborn, right? You're the experiment. You're the guinea pig because the parents don't have a clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to the youngest, the parents are like they're tired and over it, so they get to do whatever they want, right? Is that how it works?
There's something to be said for that. I mean, I wouldn't speak for your mom and dad, but I've got 3, and I'll tell you what, I'm easiest on the 3rd. So there you go.
I like to tease, just needle my mom and dad a little bit, and always say, "Oh, Carly got away with everything." My youngest sister, and they're like, "No, she didn't." That's not the way I remember it. But, anyway, happy birthday, Brooke. She again, next year's the big one. Next year's the big one. You can decide which big one that is on your own. 304 Talk 304. 52 Class AA high schools. The destruction of our state culture continues to be destroyed by the No Hope scholarships. Listen, we are not losing student population in public schools in large part due to the Hope Scholarship. Is it a factor? Sure. Main factor? Absolutely not. We're losing population. Birth rate's down. That's why we are losing population in these schools. That's all. No, it's not. Hope Scholarship, TJ, is an easy scapegoat. It is a very easy scapegoat. It is not a primary driver for the problems our public schools are currently dealing with.
How many times have we talked on this show about problems versus symptoms? And for whatever reason, man, maybe just because it's hard, maybe it's politically hard, maybe just people don't want to acknowledge it. But we never want to talk about the problem. We always want to cast stones at the symptom or something that, okay, yeah, maybe, we're a few million more shy than what we would have been overall with that 170 million. Look, you would still have hundreds of millions of dollars in unpaid special education costs if Hope didn't exist. I mean, you still have to come up with the money.
304 Talk. Yep, 304 Talk 304. That's the text line. The long legal battle between the city of Morgantown and its firefighters over holiday pay is finally near an end. Professional firefighters in the city of Morgantown sued the city back in June of 2019. The suit claimed that for years, city firefighters had been improperly paid and compensated for working their 24-hour holiday shifts. They were only compensated for partly working those holiday shifts because you may go on at noon on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. Well, your shift doesn't end until noon the next day. You only worked half of that, the city said. State code. You see what I'm saying, though, right?
Are you serious?
Yes.
I hadn't followed this. Are you serious?
So what would happen? Yeah, so the firefighters are being compensated maybe 12 to 16 hours for working a holiday, even though their shift is 24 hours, and even though there's state code that says you're not supposed to do that. It's a whole scene, man. Long story short, after the city had requested a writ of prohibition from the state Supreme Court. That was denied, and now the city will likely be forced to pay millions of dollars to the more than 50 current and retired city firefighters who filed the initial suit back in June of 2019. Long, drawn-out battle.
I hope it includes interest. I hope it includes penalties. You know, under the Wage Payment and Collection Act in West Virginia, if a private employer doesn't pay on time and doesn't meet the guidelines, they get dinged, man. They get penalties that they have to pay, and the city should be no different.
This was a problem. It was not unique to Morgantown. This came up in several different cities. Charleston was one of them, and I'm going off the top of my head. My apologies. But Charleston not only fixed the problem, they also made those firefighters whole. Came to an agreement, and I don't remember the details of it. Morgantown chose to fight it all the way to the Supreme Court. Chose to fight it rather than make their firefighters whole. They fixed the problem, but didn't make their firefighters whole. And
so was that a council decision? Was that administrative? I mean, who was the ringleader of that dumb move?
That would have been a combo platter of the city council. There's gnats flying around my studio, by the way. Sorry if you're watching on video. Combo platter of the city council and former city manager Paul Brake.
You know, I feel like something like that, if we had a bonehead of the day award or of the month or of the year, that could probably take – I mean, that's just – look, folks, that's common sense. Common sense. You know what the private sector would do? There'd never be a question. Time and a half, double time, holiday, do what you got to do. Done. Everybody's happy.
And it's firefighters. Firefighters. They are represented by Wheeling attorney Teresa Torreseva. I did reach out to Teresa, but I believe she's in court this morning, so maybe later this week. Got to take our final break. Back to wrap up hour number 1. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Back in a moment.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $327 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $467 million. So go ahead. Play today. We'll talk to Josh Short. He's president of the West Virginia AFL-CIO. He joins us in 6 minutes. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Please be mindful of still some potential issues with flooding and flash flooding from the storms yesterday and last night. Flash flood warning listed in southern West Virginia until 7:30 or 8 a.m. for Boone, Raleigh, Wyoming, and Logan counties. Listing up to 5.5 inches of rain that fell with the recent storms. There's also a flood watch southeastern areas of the state listed until 11 a.m. So still remember, turn around, don't drown. Never drive through any flooded areas. End of the week and the weekend, they'll be watching for another round of some likely rain with some heavy and excessive amounts that may be possible again by then. Charleston, about 1 3/4 inch of rain officially yesterday, 1.77 inches, high of 81, low at 66. Average high yesterday was 85. Far eastern areas, some general thunderstorms are possible. The rain is ending or has come to an end from west to east. Far eastern areas of the state, sometime earlier mid-afternoon, the rain will taper for you. Fly Saber forecast, it starts at home. Wyoming or Florida areas, watching some potential heat again, some mid to upper 90s, some chances of thunderstorms later in the week for cities like Orlando. Northern areas likely dry today, some increasing sunshine. Eastern areas, likely chance of showers this morning, then a chance early this afternoon before ending. Be mindful of any impacts with the recent rain here in these areas. Rain coming to an end early this afternoon. Still some impacts with flooding or flash flooding this morning in some southern areas of the state. 84 sunny on Wednesday, patchy fog. 89 Thursday, increasing heat and humidity this weekend next week. 91 Monday. Friday and Saturday, rain's likely. Both of those days, I'll be watching for potential of heavy rain and strong storms. A chance of a shower and storm on Sunday, 87. And again, increasing heat and humidity expected again late in the weekend and early next week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
MetroNews Talkline already in progress here on a Tuesday morning. Gang's all here. David Morgantown, TJ in Charleston, Jake Linker, video producer, and Ethan Collins. I presume wearing a soccer jersey this morning. Or is it a jersey? Is it a kit?
What else would it be?
He may be in full-blown, he may have the full uniform on for whatever.
Is that what? Is it a uni? Is that what it's called?
I
don't know.
No idea. I know it's a schmedium. But Ethan Collins is our audio producer this morning. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, watching on the MetroNews TV app, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Coming up, bottom of the hour, going to talk to Delegate Matthew Rohrbach. He's the Deputy House Speaker. There are a handful of state lawmakers who have sent a letter to Senators Jim Justice and Shelley Moore Capito supporting a nationwide ban on dog racing. We'll get into that bottom of the hour. Text line is wide open as always at 304-TALK-304. And the phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Nothing from the U.S. Supreme Court today as far as the BPJ case goes. Thursday, seems like the U.S. Supreme Court has stacked up all of the culture war / political cases, and they're all waiting on opinions. So maybe Thursday that comes down, but nothing from the U.S. Supreme Court today. We were keeping an eye on that. Also, today is the 10-year anniversary of the devastating 2016 floods here in West Virginia. We've got some stories posted at wvmetronews.com. Also, we are keeping track of the flooding from overnight last night in some particular areas. Chris Lawrence was headed to Boone County this morning. What else did Jeff say? Logan County got hit as well. So we are keeping up to date on that over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Yesterday on the program, we told you about a bill that passed through the House of Representatives with the support of every Democratic representative, and 20 Republicans, including West Virginia Republican Representative Riley Moore. It's the Faster Labor Contracts Act, a bill that seeks to impose shorter timelines for first contract negotiations for new unions, and a major win for labor groups and populists, a blow to Republican leadership. That being reported by, that is a Reuters report. The vote was 230 to 193. Again, 20 Republicans joining all of the Democrats. Under the bill, if no union agreement is reached between newly organized workers and management within 90 days, it would be sent to mediation. If that failed after 30 additional days, it would be referred to a 3-person arbitration panel to secure an initial contract. Under current law, new union contracts can take years to secure. The national AFL-CIO has sent letters and is very supportive of the bill. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is Josh Sword. He's president of the West Virginia AFL-CIO. Josh, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me.
It's been a while. Where have you been? We haven't talked to you in a few months.
I don't know. I've just been listening to you guys talk about all the fighting in the Republican Party for months and just been sitting back and eating some popcorn, actually.
Well, Josh, thanks for joining us. What's your take on this bill that got through the House and is now over with the Senate?
Well, a big shout-out to Congressman Riley Moore for standing with 19 other Republicans to do the right thing here and join Democrats in supporting the Faster Labor Contracts Act. The reason that this bill is needed is because there are some serious flaws in the existing language or in under the National Labor Relations Act. You know, once a union is identified, there's an election and certified from the National Labor Relations Board, there is no timeline now on when the first contract has to be negotiated. So we've seen big companies like Starbucks and Amazon, really stall this thing out for years and years. So one of the things, this bill does 3 things simply. It requires that within 10 days of certification that negotiations begin. The second thing it does, if a contract can't be agreed to within 90 days, then it goes to mediation. The third thing is mediation is there for at least 30 days. It can be extended if both sides, feel like there's progress being made. Okay, that can be extended before binding arbitration from an independent panel would be determined. This is good common sense. It cuts through and eliminates a lot of governmental bureaucracy that exists. And, we're happy that one aspect of government, Congress that is, recognizes in a bipartisan way that there's a real problem here, and this is a solution to fix it. So we're very supportive of the legislation and really proud of Riley Moore for voting for workers on it.
Morning, Josh. Thanks for being here. Isn't this somewhat detrimental to workers, though, too? And here's why I ask that. Typically now, those workers would vote on a final contract, would they not? And if it goes straight to binding arbitration, that takes the worker out of the equation. They don't get to vote on the contract. Isn't that problematic?
That's not necessarily true. Depending on how this would play out, TJ, there could be a number of times in which the employees have voted on a contract. They could be voting on a contract in which they get the majority, but the employer doesn't agree or doesn't accept it. So I don't think that argument holds much water as I would envision this playing out. There would be all kinds of communication both to and from the membership at large. So I would not view this as an automatic situation where they do not get to vote, on a final contract. But having
just help me understand, do they get to vote on or is the arbitration binding? Because correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure I understand how that would work.
If it would get to that point in the process, in our opinion, is that it would very, very rarely get to that point. But there would be plenty of places along the way for them to have votes and input. But look at what the situation with Starbucks is now. 3 or 4 years in the making, they haven't had a chance to vote on a contract yet. So I would suggest to you that an independent person making sure that two sides come together in a binding manner for the very first contract is probably more times than not better than the situation that we have at Starbucks right now.
Josh Sword is joining us, president of the West Virginia AFL-CIO. Josh, when a new union is formed, a group of workers decide they want to unionize, is there a standard starting contract? Do these negotiations start completely from scratch? And the reason I ask is trying to understand if this is a reasonable timeline for negotiations.
Well, that's a good question. And I would say yes, under almost any circumstances, it's reasonable for 90 days. If it's a brand new company, you probably have more to cover in the first contract. But if this is a company that has existed for some period of time, there are going to be a lot of things in the working conditions that will be agreed to between the employer and the employee side right out of the gate. So I don't see any issue at all being able to reach a final contract within 90 days. In fact, it should happen sooner. Look, are there issues that cause delays in negotiations? Yes, it happens all the time. But to us, this does not seem out of line or out of balance in what we can do with time. The most important thing is that there are deadlines, because right now there aren't any. And these companies these bad actors, we'll call them, are doing everything they can to stall out from the members of the unit, the employees, the union members, from having a contract. It's another fashion of union busting, or at least barriers for employees to get the voice in the workplace that they deserve.
So business obviously views this as being taken out of the equation. I've talked with some business folks throughout the country, different organizations, and their point that they make to me is that, look, we and the employee should be the ones negotiating this. They do not like the idea of a binding arbitration. They question the ability of arbiters to understand their business, etc. I get that. I do. Are you worried that this will cause capital rotation? And what I mean by that is that if businesses feel they no longer have a stake in controlling outcomes, they no longer want to take the risk to invest in these particular areas, so they just rotate capital to another business model, another industry where they might not face similar headwinds or they can get a better deal. How worried are you that you could see that as a result of this act?
Well, companies have manipulated the rules and the laws they play by for years. Look at all the coal companies over the years that have gone bankrupt, and then they go down the street, create a different entity with a different name, all the same players, and start mining coal again. Look, I don't have any doubt that businesses will figure out a way to do things to benefit them. I find it odd that they're complaining about this government interference, yet it wasn't that long ago here in the West Virginia legislature, the business community was fully in support of what we call the right to work law, which is government interference saying that you can't negotiate a union security clause into a contract. So they wanted the government interference then. Now they don't want government interference. It's just to whatever benefits them. I don't worry about them. I worry about the people who deserve a voice in the workplace and making sure that we have a fair and clear process for them to have that voice in the workplace, and I think that's what this bill does.
Josh Sword, president of the West Virginia AFL-CIO. Josh, it got through the House of Representatives. The Senate, well, I don't know that there's 60 votes to do anything in the Senate right now, but even with that in mind, what's your takeaway that this bill would, A, get through the House, and B, there is some support, it seems, in the administration, and there's some support from Republicans in the Senate for this bill, or a version of this bill. I think Josh Hawley has a version of this over in the Senate side. So what's your takeaway from that? How do you read the room?
Well, I think one of the things, you mentioned this, that you take away from this is there are Republicans who are, stepping out of their line and supporting labor issues. We've seen it happen here in Charleston with our legislature for years and years. And the reality is we should see more of it, and I expect to see more of it in Washington, D.C. And that way we can get things done in a bipartisan manner and doing what's best for, workers throughout this country. So whether it's this issue, Dave, or another issue down the road, I think you're going to see more Republicans supporting labor issues because they know and understand the value of what unions will and can do for the middle class. So I can't suggest to you that I think we can get there in the Senate. I don't know. I know there's bipartisan support right now. We'll keep working it. And obviously some things in the White House have gone pro-union, so we're just going to keep doing our thing and see where the chips fall. But at the end of the day, our number one priority is to make sure that we're doing all we can to eliminate barriers for workers to have that voice in the workplace.
Josh, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to an editorial that the Wall Street Journal put out, their editorial board last week. I mean, it's a pretty tough accusation, and I think you deserve the chance to respond to it. They said this, quote, "We wonder if Republicans know what they've voted for, and not merely on wages or pensions. Unions allied with Democrats have long supported a progressive agenda that includes collective bargaining for abortion coverage and transgender health care. The model language the AFL-CIO recommends to local chapters says, quote, all health plans offered to bargaining unit members shall cover comprehensive reproductive health care services, including contraceptives, abortion services, and gender-affirming care." It's a tough accusation. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that's all news to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about what you just said, and I certainly haven't seen the editorial. What we do here at the West Virginia AFL-CIO is go up to the Capitol for 60 days every year and advocate for workers and their families, and that looks and feels a lot of different ways. So I appreciate the question, but I have no idea nor understand, any of that you just talked about.
He's Josh Sword, president of the West Virginia AFL-CIO. Do you go buttered popcorn or do you go one of the flavored popcorns?
I go extra butter with a little bit of salt, but don't tell my family doctor.
Hey, you dump candy? Do people still do that? I like to take goobers when I go to the movies, dump them in the popcorn tub. You ever do anything like that?
No, popcorn only.
Oh, you got to try it, man. You're missing out.
He's a simple guy.
I'm sure my 14. I'll circle back to my 14-year-old and see if he has any ideas on this.
Okay, Josh, we appreciate the perspective this morning. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Josh Sword, president of the West Virginia AFL-CIO. Take a break. Text lines 304-TALK 304. Phone numbers 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Kids are active, and sometimes injuries happen. At WVU Medicine Golisano Children's, our orthopedics team specializes in caring for growing bones, joints, and muscles. From sports injuries and fractures to scoliosis and complex conditions, we provide advanced treatment with a gentle touch because kids deserve care designed just for them. Call 855-WVU-CARE to schedule an evaluation or visit WVUkids.com.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door, and now is the perfect time to connect. Free equipment, free installation, no contract, local customer support you can trust. Perfect for working from home or streaming. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, citynet.net connects, protects, and perfects. 304 Talk 304 texter says, if you replay any more broadcasts from the past about the Elk River floods, please make certain an announcement about this is a replay. Otherwise, it may cause a War of the Worlds type panic. I tuned in late and was freaking out until I heard about the part from Earl Ray Tomblin being governor. My apologies. I thought I made that clear at the beginning and the end, in the middle. If you tuned in the middle, I understand the confusion. I apologize for that. But, yeah, the dead giveaway, there's Governor Tomblin in the sound. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, wouldn't trust the AFL-CIO to have an honorable agenda, says the texter.
I don't think it's a matter of trust as much as it's a matter of economic realities. Look, they are biased toward their members. Fair. I don't have a problem with collective bargaining. If that's how a group of employees think that their interests will be best represented, okay, fine. They vote under current law whether or not they have a union. The issue here is the binding arbitration, in my view, because you can run the clock out if you don't like the deal, and there's no guarantee. I think business is right about this. There is no guarantee that this arbitration and those that would conduct it understand the business that they're coming into, understand the variables and how this would work. So to have a model, a cost structure mandated by law on a business, that's problematic, extremely problematic. I talked about capital rotation. Here's what I mean by that. People that run into this, they're going to innovate, and they're not just going to close or bankrupt the mine, whatever the example was. They're going to get out of the industry and go somewhere where they don't have this and put that capital to work elsewhere. And that's the part of this that I don't think people are getting. That's the part that concerns me.
Well, the flip side to that, these are probably extreme examples, the examples of Amazon and Starbucks. If there are a group of workers who votes to unionize, and you can just drag out negotiations indefinitely, what's the incentive structure? So, and I think this was Josh's point, this creates an incentive structure to get a deal done rather than drag it out indefinitely, which in that case, the pendulum swings towards the management side of things. I don't know that I necessarily like the bill or not. I don't know that enough about it. I'd have to do a lot more research, but everything's about a balance. Everything is about a balance, and if there's too much leverage on one side or too much leverage on the other, you lose that balance, and that's when things, the very technical term here, TJ, get out of whack as far as unions and management goes. So is this the proper step to try to bring some balance there if you think there's an imbalance? I don't know. I tend to lean toward government should not get involved in these types of restrictions and obligations on both businesses and labor, for that matter.
In my humble estimation, the market will do a far better job of sorting out that imbalance than the government ever could. Starbucks is a great example. If people feel that Starbucks is slow walking and will not close on an agreement and is doing everything that they can, if people do not like that and they feel like the workers are being mistreated, they'll go buy their coffee somewhere else. You can't escape that. It may take longer than some would like, but the market is the best arbiter of these things. And that's the way I would prefer to see it happen. Of course, I'm one guy. I get it. But I cannot put my faith in the government of the United States
I understand, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. But do you think people give two you-know-whats when they go to buy their coffee, whether or not there's a union contract signed?
If they're pro-union people, I think they absolutely do.
I don't know that enough people care. They're going to go buy their coffee. They're going to move on. They don't care if the barista is a union member or not.
Well, then it's a market-based solution. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The best way is to vote with the dollars. If enough people care, things will change. And if things don't change, people move on to different opportunities. They do different things. Or if you have binding arbitration, I'm telling you, you'll see automation. You'll see capital rotation. Capital will always go. It will find a way to get there if it is not getting what it considers a fair return, because there's always another opportunity to deploy that capital where it can get a fair return. I know somebody text and call me Ann Rand, but that's the way I feel about it.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. Coming up, there are a handful of state lawmakers who are supporting a national ban on dog racing and have sent letters to Senator Shelley Moore Capito and Governor Jim Justice. We'll talk to one of them on the other side of this timeout. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. 304-TALK 304 is the text line. We'll talk to Delegate Matthew Rohrbach. He's going to join us on the other side of this break. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. There's damage in Boone and Logan counties.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Please be mindful of still some potential issues with flooding and flash flooding from the storms yesterday and last night. Flash flood warning listed in southern West Virginia until 7:30 or 8 a.m. for Boone, Raleigh, Wyoming, and Logan counties. Listing up to 5.5 inches of rain that fell with the recent storms. There's also a flood watch southeastern areas of the state listed until 11 a.m. So still remember, turn around, don't drown. Never drive through any flooded areas. End of the week and the weekend, they'll be watching for another round of some likely rain with some heavy and excessive amounts that may be possible again by then. Charleston, about 1 3/4 inch of rain officially yesterday, 1.77 inches, high of 81, low at 66. Average high yesterday was 85. Far eastern areas, some general thunderstorms are possible. The rain is ending or has come to an end from west to east. Far eastern areas of the state, sometime earlier mid-afternoon, the rain will taper for you. Fly Sabre forecast, it starts at home. Wyoming or Florida areas, watching some potential heat again, some mid to upper 90s, some chances of thunderstorms later in the week for cities like Orlando. Northern areas likely dry today, some increasing sunshine. Eastern areas, likely chance of showers this morning, then a chance early this afternoon before ending. Be mindful of any impacts with the recent rain here in these areas. Rain coming to an end early this afternoon. Still some impacts with flooding or flash flooding this morning in some southern areas of the state. 84 sunny on Wednesday, patchy fog. 89 Thursday, increasing heat and humidity this weekend next week. 91 Monday. Friday and Saturday, rain's likely. Both of those days, I'll be watching for potential of heavy rain and strong storms. A chance of a shower and storm on Sunday, 87. And again, increasing heat and humidity expected again late in the weekend and early next week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me
a great point. Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
Summer has arrived, and you don't want to be left on the shore when your friends are out enjoying the lakes and rivers this summer. So check out all the great deals on pontoon and fishing boats at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Check out the entire inventory at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, we sell family fun. Texter says, what's the story you mentioned about supplemental nutrition and pop? Hang with me. One more segment. I'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. This story, reported by West Virginia Public Broadcasting, 8 state lawmakers sent a formal letter Monday to Senators Shelley Moore Capito and Jim Justice requesting the federal legislators support a national ban on greyhound racing. The Greyhound Protection Act is an amendment to the 2026 Farm Bill. The pending federal legislation will end dog racing nationwide by prohibiting the use of interstate commerce to support racing, including the interstate transport of dogs. If passed, the bill will also bar U.S. gamblers from betting on foreign races and block the export of American dogs for racing elsewhere. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the bill in April. It now is in the hands of the U.S. Senate. Among the legislators who signed that letter is Cabell County Delegate and Deputy House Speaker Dr. Matthew Rohrbach. He joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Delegate Rohrbach, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Why did you put your name on this letter and support a nationwide ban on dog racing?
Well, because I think the time is here to finally answer this question. I'll give you some background here. We are now the only state that has gambling on dog racing. When the legislature visited this last in 2020, it was still allowed in Alabama, Arkansas, Iowa, Texas, Florida, and Florida was phasing it out at the time. Now we are the only state left. So there are only 2 tracks in the country. One is in Cross Lanes and the other's in Wheeling.
Is this about economics or is this about potential animal cruelty, Doc? I mean, which way? Is it about both?
First of all, the last time the legislature looked at this was February 2020. There was a bill that failed in the Senate. And now, with the Farm Bill, which we fully expect to pass, now that it's passed the House with this in it, it will pass the Senate, I suspect, with this in it. We will have to revisit this because the important point is right now the economics simply aren't there now. The current state subsidy is about $20 million a year. The only thing that's really keeping it alive is the export handle, which is the out-of-state internet gambling. That is almost all the money that's being wagered. That is what goes away under this bill. And without that, it's totally unsustainable. The other problem right now is it's currently mostly relying on the out-of-state handle. The state doesn't get the tax from that. So we've simply got to address this issue because at the federal level, it is going to force us, if this bill passes, to have to address this. Now, say, why is that important? Well, in the state of Virginia, as you know, the gambling is, the horse racing is tied to having the casinos. So we'll have to revisit that issue to allow the casinos to continue, if that's what we want. But it appears, though, that for a number of reasons, the greyhound racing is going to go away.
Is that just inevitable? It seems like an inevitability. And I think that's kind of what you're saying, that this is going to happen, whether it's this year or a couple of years down the road. This is something that is going to happen and that West Virginia is going to have to address.
There's no way around this. We are going to have to address this issue. Now, the bill that failed in the Senate in 2020, we had a $3 million fund that was created, that would have been created, that would have helped. It was going to be called the Displaced Racing Workers Employment Retaining Fund. So we would have helped the people that were going to lose their jobs because of this. and I'm sure that we could look at things like that. We can also look at, there's been a bill that's been proposed for a Greyhound adoption fund of $1 million to help transition out of this. And I do know in some discussions with the operators, which is Delaware North, of both the tracks, they had a buyout of the breeders at the track that they ran in North Memphis, Arkansas. And they've indicated they will be willing to work with the industry to phase it out. So, but I think with this federal legislation, which I fully expect is going to pass, there was an amendment that Congressman Moore put on the bill in the House that would have exempted West Virginia from the Greyhound part, and that failed fairly broadly. So that this is the bill, it's passed the House, and it's in front of the Senate. And I have no reason to suspect that this is not going to be part of the final legislation, especially with the House already putting it in there and passing it and fighting off that amendment. So this is something that is going to come up in the next session. There's no doubt about it.
Have you spoken with either Senator Justice or Senator Capito directly about the issue outside of the letter you sent, and have they given you any indication of how they'll vote on the issue?
I haven't talked with them really since this farm bill has gotten started, but that's probably on the list of things we would certainly do before we get into session. But I do believe that this bill probably passes in its current form or something near it.
Talking to Delegate Matthew Rohrbach. He is a Cabell County Delegate Deputy House Speaker. What about the impact specifically on Wheeling, Delegate Rohrbach, this could have on the local economy, this could have on jobs? If Greyhound racing goes away, there are certainly jobs that are going to go with it. That is local revenue that goes to the city, goes to Ohio County, that would also go away. How does that factor into this consideration?
Well, I think the consideration there is if we fail to do anything about decoupling, and then they could lose everything if the casino would close. Because if you look right now, the majority of the money that's gained locally, the majority of the jobs gained locally are because of the casinos, not really the racing. That's just kind of an add-on now that they frankly have to keep going in order to operate the casinos and the entertainment centers that they have. So I think the thing to focus on is more than likely we're going to have to make some changes, but not to act and to put the casinos at risk would be a real financial blow to Wheeling.
I want to read a quote from the letter. It says, quote, "Free enterprise does not require and conservative governance does not condone statutes that force private companies to run unprofitable operations or transfer payments that keep a failed industry alive at taxpayer expense." Does the gaming industry, casino industry, are they asking for your support in this? Do they want to end Greyhound racing because they do see it as a hindrance to their business?
Well, the answer is yes. And they have taken that position around the country. In Florida, they at one time had 11 tracks when the Florida legislature required them to be phased out. Arkansas was the most recent one to phase out a track, and Iowa phased out, I think, 2 tracks. So they were done in such a manner that there was relief given to the people that were employed in that industry, but the industry went away. But I think the important thing in all of those situations, particularly in the Arkansas situation, they did it in such a way that they took care of the people who were working in it, but they kept the revenue source. And I think most of those people transitioned over to the casino side when they phased out the racing. So the job loss wasn't that great because they were able to transition people to the other side of it, that they were able to keep going.
Delegate Matthew Rohrbach, Cabell County Delegate, Deputy House Speaker. He was among the West Virginia lawmakers to sign the letter to Senators Capito and Justice supporting a federal ban on greyhound racing. Delegate Rohrbach, we appreciate the context, and we'll add it to the list of things we're looking forward to in the 2027 legislative session. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Anytime. The other lawmakers to sign that letter, Senator Mike Azinger, Delegate Jared Cannon, Senator Ann Sharnock, Senator Vince Deeds, Senate Majority Leader Patrick Martin, Delegate Jonathan Pinson, Delegate Rohrbach there, as you know, and Senator Chris Rose, all signing that letter. All right, we'll add it to the list for the 2027 60-day session.
Pretty compelling argument, is it not? I mean, that's the most direct stance I've heard. I mean, the man said casinos don't want to do this. It's not profitable. They have to hold it up. That's a pretty compelling argument. Why should they? Why should they? That's the most compelling argument I've heard on it, outside of the other issues.
I mean, forget the special interest and animal activist groups. I mean, forget that for a moment. Yeah. I think Delegate Rohrbach is just acknowledging current reality. Culture changes, attitudes change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And acknowledging the reality that this is not popular among a vast majority of the culture, number one. Number two, the casino operators have recognized that, like you say, TJ, and said, we don't want to be associated with it, so you've got to decouple. It's going to happen, either sooner or later. So, and if it gets through this farm bill, which it looks like it's going to, as Delegate Rohrbach said, now's the time to address the issue. So,
well, he's right about one thing. There's no way we don't fix the law to fix the casino problem, and we will. No one will vote against that. And frankly, I'm not even sure we'll have to have countywide votes again on these casinos, but if we do, people aren't going to vote against that. So, I mean, that's not a concern. That's why I didn't even ask about it. Are you swatting me or something else?
No, gnats. There are gnats in the studio again. No, I wasn't swatting you. No, gnats are buzzing around my head. I swear I showered this morning. I don't know what they're floating around in here for.
Must be because you're so sweet. That's what the lady said, right?
That has rarely ever been an accusation lobbed toward me. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. The phone number, we'll get to some texts. We'll get to a couple more news and notes items as well. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime, with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
5, 3.
For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Powerball jackpot is $327 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $467 million. So go ahead, play today. 304 Talk. 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. I promised you a story on Snap. Here it is. This is from The Hill. A federal judge has blocked bans on the usage of SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, for soda enacted by the Trump administration. Congress defined what food is supposed to be, and it did not authorize the agency, talking about the USDA, the agency to amend or waive the definition. That's important. Stick with me for a second. Or waive the definition it enacted. It did not authorize the agency to cut types of food out of SNAP entirely, wrote U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson in a Monday filing. It set out clearly the type of experimental projects that could be tested to address the unquestionably serious health issues attributed to the rise of obesity in the population in general, and particularly the low-income population, she added. Why am I bringing this up? Well, according to the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia filing, 5 states, including Iowa, West Virginia, Nebraska, Colorado, and Tennessee, submit a request to the USDA to conduct pilot projects between April and August 2025, attempting to waive the federal definition of food, removing certain items from that definition, including soft drinks and soda. That is why I bring all of this up. We're back to the POP ban with the SNAP benefits. So that was, again, the Trump administration is further challenging this, but that was out of the what is that? The D.C. Circuit, and Jackson, an appointee of, because we have to do this every time a judge makes a ruling, Jackson, appointee of former President Obama, wrote the opinion there in the U.S. Circuit Court. So that's where we are with SNAP and POP, as I pop more peas this segment.
It's so much more fundamental than that, too. I mean, take the SNAP assistance out of it for a second. We've got the government telling Mars how they're going to make M&Ms. I mean, come on. RFK leaning on where does it stop? Where does it stop? Today it's M&Ms. What's next? I mean, I just get out of it. Get out of it. Washington never gets anything right. A mandate never works. People can buy M&M-like candies now without the dye, so there's a market solution. Why do you have to tell somebody that wants plain old M&Ms, you can't have them? The whole issue baffles me and frustrates me and just makes me mad if you want the truth about the matter.
Clearly. Check your blood pressure on your watch again. Do you have the watch that checks your blood pressure?
No.
You have a regular watch.
I took it off. I'm an old school analog kind of guy with the watch. I should wear the other one on the other wrist, but then I would, I probably would be getting pings all the time about my blood pressure. But, we used to, and the thing that really upsets me about this, Wilson, is conservatives are leading the charge. Well, so-called conservatives, populists is what they really are, leading the charge on this. Conservatives used to be about market solutions. And don't tell me it's about health. If it's about health, you'd go after cigarettes. More people are going to die from smoking than die from eating M&Ms, period.
I think we have gone after cigarettes. Pretty hard.
We haven't said you can't make them. I mean, that's what we're doing with
well,
M&Ms.
No, it's because we're leaning on the tax revenue, TJ.
Well, then tax it. We've had that conversation. Tax M&Ms with artificial dyes higher than the products that don't have it.
Man, I stopped to get a fountain drink at my favorite convenience store on the way out of town there. Watched somebody pay $75 and all they bought was cigarettes.
Just get out of our lives. And you know what stands out to me about this whole thing? When it came back up in committee, remember when they were trying to change the bill so it would get around Berger's complaint? Judge Berger here in Charleston, she did the whatever you call it, issued the order that it had to cease because there were problems with how the state did the definitions. So they tried to open it back up, and everybody started tagging things on. And the people that are for it, that want to take all these things away from you, I'm sitting there watching the committee meeting on video. What are they doing? Sipping Diet Coke and sipping regular Coke and all these things that are supposedly bad for you. Okay for me, but not for you? Gee.
Well, I got to take a break. I was going to get to some text, but
I'm sorry. That's on me today.
Out of time. Well, now you've got the text line all worked up over ding-dongs and ho-hos. But got to take a break. I did not intend to get you all worked up there. That was just a quick update.
I need to learn how to just zip my lip and stop it.
Back to wrap it up in a moment.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
Plan a holiday getaway to the 64th Annual Mountain State Art and Craft Fair, July 2nd through the 4th at Cedar Lakes in Ripley, West Virginia. Shop for handmade Appalachian crafts, enjoy live music, a quilt show, and don't forget the great food. Celebrate America's 250th at America's largest small-town Independence Day celebration. Learn more at RipleyCVB.com. It's all happening on Independence Day weekend in beautiful Ripley. Once you do it, you'll be back. Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
That's it. We're done. We're out of time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.